Good morning, class. I am your teacher for today. I am teacher Marisol. Today, we are going to discuss new topics. So, lend me your ears and your attention. But before we start, shall we set our classroom agreement first? Yes, very good. Okay, everybody, read. Our class agreement are: you have to listen attentively. You have to raise your hand if you want to answer. You have to participate in our all class activities. So, is that clear, class? Okay, very good. Before we proceed to our next discussion, who among you here can still recall what we have discussed last meeting? Okay, yes please. Very good. You have such a great memory. So now class, let's have an activity game first. Count to 1 to 9 so that you will be divided into 9 groups. And our game for today is message relay. You have to relay the message that I will give to each group. The first group who will finish relaying the message, and the last person of each group, the last participant, will write it into the chalkboard. So, I need one volunteer to read your group message. That volunteer will be the first one to relay the message to your group, so that the following person will relay it to the next until to the last row. Is that clear? Okay. So what have you observed, class, to the sentences I have given to you? Yes? Any idea, please? Okay, very good. Have a great idea. So, anyone? Another? Nothing? Okay. It's okay, class? So, our topic for today, class, in your activity is related, because those sentences are the example of what we are going to discuss later on. So what do you think will be our discussion for today? Any idea? None? It's okay. So, our topic for today, class, would be direct and indirect speech. Are you familiar with the direct and indirect speech? No? Well, you will soon know what is direct and indirect speech. I want you to read first this paragraph and say to me if it is indirect or direct speech. Okay? The shaking was so strong, I could hardly stand it. Coast Guard personnel Rainier Nelly Elukri told the Associated Press by telephone. So, what do you think is the paragraph or the sentence says? Is it direct speech or indirect speech? Yes, please. Okay. Very good. Yes, it is a direct speech. For the direct speech is, like, okay, everybody read the direct speech meaning. Is the reporting of speech by repeating the actual words of the speaker. For example, I am going, she said. So, there is no changes for the words she said, but the fact that it is the only word she said. You're just repeating its words. That's it. That's the direct speech. Read the next paragraph. The police officer, Jimmy Sarael, said that his wife and their children embrace each other until the shaking eased. What do you think will be this paragraph? Is it direct, still direct, or indirect speech? Yes, you? Yes, it is a indirect speech. For what do you think will be the meaning for the indirect speech? You have any idea? None? Oh, it's okay. Let's proceed, class. So, this paragraph is indirect speech. Why? Okay, everybody, again, read the indirect speech meaning. The indirect speech is another reported speech, which the act of reporting something that was said but not using the exact same words. Like, for example, she had to go to school. She said. Now you know what is direct and indirect speech. Now let's move on to the rules of changing tenses and verbs in direct and indirect speech. So the first rule, in direct speech, the present simple. For example, this one. She said it is cold. So, the indirect speech will be the past simple. From present simple to past simple, indirect speech, it would be she said it was cold. So, did you get it, class? Okay. The next rule is the present continuous. So, the example is she said I am teaching English online. So the indirect speech will be past continuous. The example will be she said she was teaching English online. Did you get it, class? Okay, very good. So the next rule is the present perfect simple. The example is she said I've been online since 1999. The indirect speech will be past perfect simple. Did you get it? So the example will be she said she had been online since 1999. Okay? Understand, class? Okay, very good. For you are going to try to convert this the following sentences into direct and indirect speech. Is that clear? Are you ready? Okay, class, get 1/4 sheet of paper so that you will do this this as an exercise for you to learn from the tenses of verbs in converting it into direct and indirect speech. So let's get down to modal verbs forms. It is also can be converted when changing it in indirect or direct speech or indirect speech. So the first is the modal verbs will. For example, this one. She will teach English online tomorrow. So in the indirect speech, the will would be would. You change the will into would. Did you get it? So the sentence will go like this. She said she would teach English online tomorrow. Is that clear? Very good. Learn in our discussion. Let's have a group activity first. So, I want you to group yourself into 3 groups. Okay, count to 1 to 3. Okay, group 1 will be at the right side. Okay. group 2 will be the left side, 3 in the middle. So your activity will be, in group 1, each member will write one sentence using direct speech. You write it on your manila paper. In group 2, you will write the sentence of group 1 using the indirect speech. Is that clear? Write it on the manila paper again. So, in group 3, with the sentences made by group 1 and 2, you will explain how the sentence become direct and indirect speech. Is that clear? Okay, I will give you 10 minutes to prepare and create your answer. Okay, your 10 minutes start now. Okay, time's up. Let's hear it from every group. Okay, group 1. Very good. Group 2. Yes, very good again. Group 3. Can you explain the group 1 and 2 how it become the sentences become direct and indirect speech? Okay, very good. Let's have a round of applause for every one of you. Very good, class. So I want you now to get one whole sheet of paper. We will have, in your one whole sheet of paper, answer this. In set A, you will do the following. You will convert the sentences into direct speech. And in the set B, you will convert the sentences from indirect to direct speech. Is that clear? Okay, I'll give you 10 minutes to answer. Now, who can sum it all from the tab which we have discussed earlier? Yes? Okay, very good. Clap your hands to him, class. So, for your assignment for today, you are going to read this topic, okay, and write down the words which you find it as the indirect speech or indirect speech. Is that clear? Do you have any question? So, that's all for today. Thank you and goodbye, class.